Hey guys, how are we? Today I wanted to look at Saints Row's first game, which was released back in 2006 and is often compared to the other Saints Row game with the same title, Saints Row, which was released in 2022 and was actually a reboot and also severely hated by the community. Even game reviewing sites like IGN gave this game a bad review, whilst the original 2006 game received pretty good reviews around the time of its release. So I thought to myself, is Saints Row actually worth playing? Alright man, so the character customization is really good for a game made back in 2006. The only flaw I could think of is that you can't play as a female, you're stuck as a man. The intro cutscene does a good job of setting the stage, showing the story which is all about gang violence. I mean gang warfare between the four gangs present in the game. You have the Vice Kings who wear yellow and are predominantly African American. You have the West Side Rollers who wear blue and are predominantly Asian and Caucasian. You have the Los Carnales.
It's not the Los Carnales, it's just the Carnales. Los means... fuck it.
My bad, I mean the brothers or Los Carnales. They wear red and are predominantly, you guessed it, Hispanic. Then finally your gang, the 3rd Street Saints. You guys wear purple and have made it your mission to bring an end to all the gang warfare by suppressing all the other gangs. And the game does a good job of setting the stage for the ongoing gang warfare. And just by looking at the map in the beginning of the game, it shows you each neighborhood has one of the 4 gangs in control. Even visiting these neighborhoods, you can run into the affiliated gang connected to that neighborhood. Even sometimes find them exchanging bullets with the police. They won't hurt you though, unless you provoke them. The gameplay is like most other old free-to-roam games. You shoot your gun at the enemy and just hope you don't die. There's no real cover system, so you kinda just instinctively jerk the controller side to side, awkwardly moving it, hoping that you dodge the enemy's flying bullets. Once you're hit, you regenerate health by consuming food, which can be bought from the shop or dropped by enemies. You can also just wait and your health will just fill itself back up. And I felt like the game somehow did a good job of not killing you so easily. The game felt like it had good difficulty and the gameplay was actually really fun. I never got sick of it. Throughout the game, the shooting never got boring for me. It really felt like one of those games you can just jump on and mindlessly kill waves of enemies that the game just sends your way. Although at times I did feel it was a little unfair, especially towards the end of the game where the difficulty becomes insane. Like there were times when I just died in a matter of seconds and it really felt like it was not my fault. When you die, you just respawn at the closest hospital and just lose some of your money. Same thing happens if the cops get you. Yeah, so just like GTA, if you anger the cops in this game, they will try to arrest you. However, unlike GTA, they don't actually take your weapons. They let you keep them. So same consequences apply if you're smoked or busted.
You have the right to shut the hell up. Ow.
Also, like GTA, Saints Row has a wanted/star system where if you harass the police and the local citizens, your wanted level bar increases and you'll gain a star. The more stars you have, the more the police will want you dead. How do you lose a star? You just have to wait. Seriously, the bar just goes down all by itself naturally, and unless you continue to aggro the enemy, which will increase the bar will just naturally go down. In the meantime, you have to try not to confront the enemy whilst the game just spawns them your way. But as soon as you lose your last star, they all of a sudden have no interest in you whatsoever. Another thing Saints Row does unique is the same system also applies to the rival gangs, as pissing off rival gangs will also increase their bar, giving you a crown in this case. But it's not always a crown, as there are 3 different icons for the 3 different gangs. You can also be wanted by the police and the gang at the exact same time, so things can go bad for you quick. The main storyline consists of the 3rd Street Saints trying to get rid of the other 3 gangs, so you can choose to take out Los Carnales, Vice Kings, and the West Side Rollers in whichever order you want. But just for reference, I completed them in the order I just read out now. I'll also keep this a spoiler-free review and only talk about what is common knowledge in the first few hours of playing. And to be honest man, the main campaign was actually quite fun. The difficulty felt just right, with the first few missions being very easy, but the last few being crazy difficult. Sometimes the missions would get very difficult, but never to the point where you'd want to stop altogether. The cutscenes were enjoyable to watch and the story is easy to follow along. The voice characters did a really good job and the writing wasn't bad. The characters are quite good too, well written, and they all play their part well and hold up their own end.
Now, this meeting is over.
I did feel at times they were a little lacking in depth and came off a little generic or cliche. Some I found forgettable. Like I remember feeling if any of them were to die, I really wouldn't care all that much. But taking out gangs and doing so with your fellow gang members was always quite fun. The game allows you to bring random gang members known as homies to take with you on missions, or sometimes some of the main characters will tag along. And I was quite surprised by how good the AI actually was. Of course it's not flawless, but I did notice the missions felt a little easier whenever I brought a homie with me. You can bring up to 3, just as long as you have enough room in the car. And I liked this feeling of slowly defeating the gangs and taking over their neighborhoods to claim as my own and receiving that nice money bonus that came with the territory. But you can lose the money bonus if the previous gang tries to take back their neighborhood, which I felt like always happened just as soon as I got in the neighborhood. But not gonna lie, I did like all the little touches the game added, like when you hijack the car of someone from the Vice Kings, who are the predominant African American gang, you find them listening to old school hip hop and rap songs. Well, I mean, they weren't old school at the time of its release, but nonetheless, you'll find them tuning into radio stations that play hip hop and rap tracks. You'll also find West Side Rollers, who are the predominant Asian and Caucasian gang, listening to electric drum and bass tracks from radio station K12, which might have been my favorite radio station. You also find Los Carnales, who are the predominant Hispanic gang, listening to heavy metal and rock. I mean, okay, I guess, but not gonna lie, the radio stations really surprised me. They were really good quality. The radio stations had a varied list of genres from reggae to rap, metal to electric, alternative to classical music, and they all had banger tracks which I didn't expect to like as much as I did. The radio hosts also had those satire jokes which are also common in GTA.
The Rock 94.8, Stillwater's best rock. Deal with it, Stillwater. The Rock 94.8. The music your mother warned you about. Stillwater's alternative. 99.8. The Faction.
The world's most important music. On the world's most important radio station, 102.4 Classic FM.
Take a heat, Stillwater. 103.6 420 radio.
Even the ads that played in between the tracks were quite funny.
Remember me? I was the little girl with the pigtails and freckles on the side of all my daddy's restaurants. Well, I'm all grown up, and we're here to please you, late night or anytime at Freckle Bitches. Choose from the single, double, or triple D burgers. Or, if you want more than a mouthful, try the twins. All your meat at Freckle Bitches is grilled to order. I prefer it a little pink in the middle. We're open 24 hours, but after midnight, I just love it if you came in the back door. Freckle Bitches. You can't beat our meat.
Hello, this is Stefan, proprietor of Impression, the clothing shop where you shop for clothing, you see? Alright, you're paying attention? All of my clothing is 15% off. This is disgusting me. You're robbing me. Did I take 15% off the genius that is Stefan? No. Did the clothes make you look 15% less than perfect? No, they don't. You'll come to Impression, the clothing shop, and you will steal from me as I stand horrified. Okay, alright, bye-bye.
And I even liked how I was receiving ads about this clothing store, and when I checked my map, the store was real and I even had an in-game discount when I visited. That's really good game design, where you have something in the game like ads playing on the radio and they serve an actual purpose like making you visit the store that has the discount they were advertising. Really nice feature. Also, if there were any songs which you really enjoyed, you can purchase them from the music store, which allowed you to listen to them throughout the game. Whether you're walking around, driving around, or swimming around, your custom playlist will be playing at all times. Nice feature. What I didn't appreciate though were the initial car controls, making you accelerate with A and reverse with X. Actually disgusting. But thankfully you can change it in the options menu from scheme A to scheme B, making it RT to accelerate and LT to reverse, the way God intended. What also sucked was the respect system. So the main storyline is actually quite short, and so to stop the player that from burning through the game, you have to have enough respect in order to complete missions. So if you don't have enough respect, you can't progress in the main storyline. So how do you gain respect? There are a few methods. By far the easiest way is through character customization. Just visit any clothing store and browse through their items and see what gets you the most respect. So yeah, you are just essentially buying respect. And keeping up with the theme of the game, purple clothes get you that little extra respect. But this is good game design as it adds a nice feature to the game. So now not only do you buy clothes to customize your character, but it also gains you respect. And I like how they add all these little extra styles on the clothes that you can pick from, making you style your character however you like. Another way to gain respect is through hostages. This is when you hijack a car, and if there are some randoms still with you in the car, you can take them as hostages. The police will try to take you down, and all you have to do is keep the car moving until the timer runs out. Another way is through theft. This is when it's nighttime and the stores aren't open, so you can break in and steal from their safe. Place the goods in your car and deliver it to some close by location the game tells you. Additionally, you can also steal in the morning when the store is open. You can even hold the employee at gunpoint and make them open the safe for you if you don't want to complete the minigame that opens the safe. But the rewards for this activity are garbage. Same goes for the hostages. The only reason you complete these events is because the option presented itself and it was fun to take the challenge in the moment. So the main way you gain respect is through the activities. Overall, there is 10 activities and some suck way more than others. By far the worst two are Chop Shop and Hitman. Chop Shop has you going through a list of cars and attempt to deliver them to the chop shop. This sucks because you have to aimlessly drive around praying for that one car you're looking for just to spawn in. I know each neighborhood spawns specific cars, so you can just head to that neighborhood you know spawns that car and look for it, but you still have to look for it. It's not just going to spawn regardless of how long you've spent on the mission. Hitman is similar, giving you a list of people you have to kill with a specific weapon. For each person, you usually have a location attached. Then you go to said location, aimlessly drive around praying for them to show up, and like I hinted at before, some people don't even have locations, so good luck with that. And the fact that you have to kill them with a specific weapon truly sucks, seeing as if I have the Tombstone shotgun equipped and I need to kill someone with the AS-12 riot shotgun. Because you can only carry one type of gun at a time, the quickest way for me to get my hands on this specific weapon is to go to the gun shop, pay $1,700 for the AS-12 riot shotgun. No thank you, especially when it always feels like I don't have enough ammo in this game. Like I seriously was so worried I was going to run out of ammo so many moments. It's why I resorted to meleeing the enemies so much. Also, back to why the Hitman activity sucks. Upon further investigation, I now know that the people you're after spawn at specific locations depending on what time of day in game, and none of this is explained. I originally thought the weapon icon next to the person was the weapon they were using. None of this is explained, but the game still expects you to know all this somehow. Moving on, the other 8 activities weren't as bad and are much easier to understand. You got Demolition Derby, where you destroy cars with your car. Drug trafficking is where some drug dealer hires you as a bodyguard. He drives you around delivering drugs to the locals, and you must protect him from oncoming enemies, being police or other rival gang members. He even supplies you with specific weapons and even gives you unlimited ammo. Pretty cool. Next is Escort, where a prostitute hires you as a chauffeur and makes you drive around avoiding paparazzi while she tries to support her client. You win by getting the pleasure bar filled before the footage bar is filled. Next is Hijacking, where the game leads you to a car which you must steal and deliver back to the shop before the time runs out. This is different to the Chop Shop activity as it actually shows you where the car is located and you have a timer. Next is Insurance Fraud, where you try to kill yourself as much as possible, normally via getting hit by cars. Pretty fun. Next is Mayhem, where you have to cause as much damage to everything around you as much as possible. This one was also really fun. Next is Driving, pretty self-explanatory. Probably the only thing to note here, it was nice to see the other drivers match the car that you arrived with, or they would use one similar to you. And finally, you have Snatch, which is where you find prostitutes, liberate them from their oppressive pimp by killing them and bringing them back to your brothel to work for you now. You must bring back enough girls before the time runs out in order to win. Overall, it's nice that the game gives you this wide variety of activities to pick from, and some are fun the first few times you attempt them, but after a while the game just pushes the difficulty to a point where it's so challenging to reach the goal the game has set. You just want nothing more than to be done with the activity and go back to the main campaign. What's nice is the game does tell you when you've earned enough respect for the next mission, but it only tells you if you've earned enough respect for the next mission only, and the game forces you to get a stupid amount of respect before you can complete the entire main storyline. storyline. What's worse is the game rewards you for completing activities back to back to back, as opposed to just doing some activities then going back to the main storyline and alternating between the two. Nah, instead the game wants you to mindlessly grind through the activities, never knowing when you have enough respect for the whole main campaign. Just for reference, I started off completing about 2 or 3 levels for 6 activities, which gave me enough respect to get halfway through Los Carnales story arc. So I then decided to complete 8 levels of racing, 8 levels of mayhem, 16 levels of hijacking, and all 26 levels of snatch. I then went out and bought all the clothes with the most respect I could find, praying that got me enough respect, which thank God it did. But when I was mindlessly grinding for respect, it was so miserable, especially those last few snatch levels. The last one was by far the hardest mission I completed in the whole game. It took me 3 hours to complete. Just for reference, the West Side Rollers entire story arc also took me 3 hours to complete. What the hell, man? I just felt like the whole main campaign was way too short, and it felt like I spent around the same time on the main campaign I did on the activities. Now, whilst I can agree I probably beat the West Side Rollers arc in 3 hours because it was the last main story arc and I was more experienced, I also found it to be the easiest out of the 3, and yeah, while that is true, the last snatch mission taking 3 hours I felt like was mostly because the game was crap. For some reason, when you die at the end of a main campaign mission, you are asked if you want to retry, and the game will take you to the start of the very beginning of the mission. And I mean the very beginning of the mission. Even the long ones, there are no checkpoints. You die, try again from the start. But at least you have a retry option. If you die during an activity, you actually die. The game just respawns you to the nearest hospital and you lose money. That's it. Tough luck. So to avoid this, I would reload the last saved game file whenever I died, which respawns you to the closest neighborhood you own. You then have to find a car, get in one, drive all the way back to the mission and try it all over again. And if you die, tough luck. Reload the save file and do it all over again. Now, while I know it doesn't sound like much, this took up so much of my time. Doing it again and again and again. I mean, like, they let you try again from the start in the main missions. Why couldn't they have done the same for the activities? And I swear, cars explode so much more easier in this game as well. Also, to make things worse, my game crashed 4 times whilst attempting this activity out of the 5 times it crashed throughout my whole time playing this game. And all the stupid bugs and glitches I had to deal with. Like this bug where the food, which is what you used to heal, was gone. It's supposed to show up here, but it's empty. I went to the fast food store and I bought food, and it even took my money, but nothing was appearing. And what about this bug, which occurred so often, which is where random things would be set on fire for no reason. This bug occurred so many times, it's so stupid. Or how about this mechanic where people jump out of the way to avoid getting hit by your car? But so many times people jump the wrong way and end up landing in front of my car. How does that even happen? How'd you even program that in? Like, I know it's a 2006 game, but the poor performance is noticeable. Like, if you have a wanted level and you save the game, then you reload it, you'll still have that wanted level, and so now you have to lose all the stars, then save the game again in order to load the game without the wanted level. You also can't delete save files. Also, check out this unedited footage from the game. I'm not pressing any buttons or anything to make the dialogue behave like that.
This ain't a street race. If
How
we
are we
want to
gonna get that? Who is this guy?
Everything. Some Euro trash motherfucker named Stefan.
I hate him already.
It's the unveiling of our city's latest artistic treasure, the pride of Stillwater.
What happened to that car?
Generously donated by...
Come on, Johnny.
Just turn yourself in! You can't resist violence!
You raise you to cuff when you're unconscious.
To be fair, I know I am cherry picking, and to be honest, this game was really fun. It just had such a horrible lack of polish. It's kind of what makes you hate the game but love it at the same time. Watch this cutscene and notice just how delayed the kiss sound effect is.
Don't mind him, he's just in a bad mood. Ain't that right, baby?
Hey, you'd be on the rag 24/7 if some Barry decided to show you what excessive force is all about. It breaks down like this. My boosting days are over. The pigs make sure of that. The pigs make sure of that. The pigs make sure of that. The pigs make sure of that.
You know, Saints Row desperately never wanted to go down in history as just another GTA clone, and to be honest, I think it managed to do that. It stands out and is recognizably different from GTA. The gang warfare and its components, the character customization, the really fun mandatory activities, the very lengthy main campaign, the totally memorable and not generic characters, the very up-to-date and reliable performance. These qualities are what come to mind when I think of what makes Saints Row stand out from GTA. And because of that, I think I'll remember Saints Row as the meme, "Mom, can we get GTA? We have GTA at home." The GTA at home. Overall though, I feel like it was a pretty fun game. It just needed a lot more polishing. I feel like it was a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me, but I'm leaning more towards a 7.5, so I'll officially give Saints Row a 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah man, take care.